Sangye Chudan Soge Chonam La Chunjo Bodon Dane Gyasu Che Dage Cheche Kebe Sonam Jolam Penje Sangye Joba Sho Sangye Chudan Soge Chonam Chunjo Bodon Dane Gyasu Che Dage Cheche Kebe Sonam Ge Jola Penje Sangye Joba Sangye Chudan Soge Chonam La Chunjo Bodo Dane Gyasu Che Dage Cheche Kebe Sonam Ge Jola Penje Sangye Joba Sho Hange Duzen Yusunen Dawan Tamje Pongbeje Tambe Chun Tunze Kodam De Lan Chanze Interinde Tibetan Buddhist Center Nalia I cancel Takashuri Je Shumbudi Kaushachon.
So Rinpoche is saying today, all of you having come together here at TBC, so Rinpoche is very happy to be here and to see you today.
Oh, 大家好. Oh yeah. 다 드린데 뒤지 다 망고시라 요 말에. 왔다. 취지 단다. 뒤인데 제가 요는 감정 사사샤다 취지직도 학습모도 민도. 이마도 민도 안다야 망고시되나. 안 뒤지 다야서 요 말봐.
So Rinpoche is saying there's not that much time. There is a little more than an hour, and so Rinpoche won't be able to say so much, go into such great detail.
다 데리마 현재 쉬야데 안지 Rinpoche 성 자첨보 다 람즈 남성그 터네마 Geshe 뒤뒤 쉬야지 다 개본에 뒤주기 전에 영향 큰 요마르바.
Therefore, what Rinpoche will talk about today is this precious text by Lama Tsongkhapa, the three principal aspects of the path. And so Rinpoche will go through it very briefly because there's no time to go into great detail.
딱 캔서 남서 남성의 슝디 팅을 디톨이야 롭종다 데리 친유 유베스.
Is there anyone who has studied before this particular text, who is familiar with this text?
라고시간다스.
Please raise your hands if you're familiar with this text, if you have studied it before. Please raise your hand. Those of you who have.
Okay. 다 남성 남성의 슝디 책이 찬에 망고시라 요 말에.
No, see. So this text, in terms of the words, it's very brief.
다 되게 찬에 저기다. 제롬부치에게 남지 침에 주된 안디네야 도베나 딱 한제 남rin게 천배 개외 슝기 주된 딱 개체스네다 디나로리아소 듀딩게 차대요래 남rin게 되래 다네셔.
So this text here contains the essence of the Lamrim, so the Lamrim teachings, and it basically explains the essence of all the teachings of the Buddha. So the essence of all the teachings that exist, as well as the Lamrim teachings, are contained in this particular text.
Yeah. 네, 코스. 메요.
Oh.
Quelle question d'entrée?
Maybe Rinpoche a bit reduce the volume. And maybe have a hand microphone, maybe that makes it easier. Instead of using the little device here, yeah. So someone is just saying there's nothing coming through the radio yet. Yeah. Upstairs the radio is not working.
아니 the radio dealing with.
Does it work here? Does the radio work here? Casey just came down and said the radio doesn't work upstairs. Does the microphone work? Does the speakers, do they work?
Okay.
Speakers, they work, but the radio doesn't work upstairs. Ale, Casey, he hasn't started with the translation yet because he was busy with the sound. Okay. Do you want me to repeat or? Yes. So Rinpoche said that this is only it's only a few words here. So this text is not very long, but in terms of the meaning of the text, it includes all of the Lamrim and it includes all of the teachings of the Buddha.
대체 따디네 남소 남송게 슝디에 당기 슈브는 신게 남ring이 줘된레 따줘된 쇼지기 수두대요레 따디네
So therefore, as said earlier on, this text reflects, or this text teaches the entire Buddhist teachings, and it encompasses all the essential points of the Buddha's teachings.
따디네 슝디래야 남소 남솜 시에네 슝기 민기네 스타요레 따지 민기 따야티야 제제 땡당 차네 땡줄이야 민도 스타버레.
Then with regard to the name of the text, the three principal aspects of the path, this name has been given in order to indicate the way the way its object, its topic has been taught.
제따 슝디가로 저저소 가르땡게 요르스체베나 람기소 넘버섬 땡게요레 람기소 넘버섬디 가르스체베나 니중기 삼로 다가네 신게지 천주기 셈 동이도베 시럽 양도베 시럽 디숨부디 슝디기 줘된 소디임브레.
So what does this text teach? What is the main topic here? So the three principal topics, which are the three principal aspects of the path. So the first principal object is that of renunciation. The second is that of the mind of enlightenment or bodhicitta. And the third is the wisdom realizing emptiness or right wisdom or correct wisdom.
따 람 시드 초진에 알아서 따 초현실을 초디네 초현실을 줘발라 람균을 줘거라. 디는 신기 가서 이내야 타바다 다는시 상계그 고반 주베라야 탑럼지 균에 상계 고만 토고래 타바 토고래. 디 인디삼발라 즉 타바 토비하게 탑람 다는시 상계 고반 주베게 탑럼 되줄 급디시베 람스기요래. 따 람텔 릭망고 요래텔에 급디를 So when we talk about a path is something that takes us from one place to another place. It takes us from here to there. So similarly, with regard to the goal here, the goal is liberation and enlightenment. So many different techniques, there are different techniques or different methods by which we can reach liberation and enlightenment. In that sense, therefore, the path is like a method that takes us to these particular goals. And there are, in general, many different types of path. However, in this case here, three aspects, three types, or three different aspects are prescribed. 제 따디네 단다디 람조 솜체네 솜 담나야 되냐 고보 망고샤요레 디기 갑려야 초진에 타바 주베나 탐제 캠프 주베기 차셰 탑다 시럽 사셔와 탑시 안 탑시 니부디 디난 뉘네 창조.
So there are many reasons for the necessity, for the purpose or the necessity of having three aspects. Now with regard to liberation and Buddhahood, here when we talk about liberation and Buddhahood, that which takes us to Buddhahood can be included or subsumed under two aspects, which are method and wisdom. And basically the three aspects are also included in those two, method and wisdom.
제 아주 남기대난 패딩의 상물로다 남기 로존나니레 딘데 상계 슝난 탑시 니 송도 제네 안 타보 타고를 상계 타고를 양양 연구도
So those of you, many of you who are here, come here to study. So you're familiar with this idea that Buddhist practice refers to the practice of the method and the path, and in particular the union of unifying method and path in order to reach liberation and Buddhahood.
제 따디네 탑디단디 니종기 삼로스드 타바 루비아기 타바 고반 루비아를 선보이나 탑기 차 소울 찍디 니종기 삼로 쳐요.
So with regard to the method, here the method aspect, taking renunciation, the first of the three aspects, renunciation is the main method for the attainment of liberation. So it's the method that takes a practitioner to liberation.
다 상계의 고반 루비아를 선보이나 탑기 차 소울디 전주기 삼차인 거예요.
Yes. So with regard to the goal of Buddhahood, it is bodhicitta that is the main method taking a practitioner to the state of a Buddha.
따디네 타바 루비아를 기차네야 즉 시럽기 차디 조 동번이도 시럽들이 상계의 고반 루비아라인 선보이는 조 동번이도 시럽 차고요래 가인스는 대교의 룩체베이나 간다 즉 타바 토보고 유네자 상계 고반 루고 유네자 동이 디 무슨도 또 통네 고요래 디인드 삼발라 동번 양탑에 따와서 대기 타바 루비아이네자 상계 고반 루비아기다 시럽이 차데 조디기도.
Then with respect to the wisdom aspect, whether a practitioner wants to attain liberation or a practitioner wants to attain Buddhahood, the wisdom aspect is the same. It is the wisdom realizing emptiness. Now this is from the point of view of the Mahayana tenet systems, where they say that no matter whether you want to attain liberation or enlightenment, the wisdom aspect is always the wisdom realizing emptiness, the correct view of reality. It refers to the correct view of reality, which takes you to both states, liberation and enlightenment.
아니 코알레 니몰레 냥버 중국도 세네 삼로디 조유버체 나 셴드윙기 디르게 제스케 믹세메버체 아니몽 다 딘레베 코알레 냥버 중국도 스베 삼로 테난 제네 안 동번이도 시럽사다 그리고 양탑에 따와디 두스제 시럽디 냠낸 셴드 타버터베규 tab지송도 차로요래 따스임제 탐제기 지도 상계의 고반 톱고도 세 삼로디 전주기 셈 예베 통 하나 상계 고반 톱제기 탑리아 동이도 시럽도 곰네 안 공비 땅은도 상계 고반 주약 차로요래 tab지송도 차로요래.
So with regard to these two goals, with regard to liberation refers to the wish to emerge, that is to get out of samsara or cyclic existence. So it's the wish, seeing the advantages of overcoming it and generating the wish to overcome samsara. And that which helps us to do so is the wisdom realizing emptiness. That is that which helps us to overcome, that is, eliminate samsara and achieve liberation. With regard to Buddhahood, here the goal is to help to benefit all sentient beings. Now here it is bodhicitta, the wish to become enlightened for the benefit of all sentient beings. That is the method, that's the method aspect, and it's the wisdom that enables us to become fully enlightened. So in the case of, therefore, liberation, you unify the method of renunciation and the wisdom of realizing emptiness. You unify those two, method and wisdom, to become liberated. In the case of Buddhahood, you unify the method bodhicitta and the wisdom realizing emptiness again, and with this you attain the state of a Buddha. So therefore now Rinpoche will now start to explain those three principal aspects of renunciation, bodhicitta, and the correct view, and we'll proceed now with the text. So then the first line reads, I bow to the most venerable Lamas. This is an expression of worship or an expression of homage, bowing down.
Diga lo so jirum bichi ta jizin jambe yang da dindegi da Lama ya chobar da chobar le tene goba mangu sungu yore ta tenje de somya tarchim ba da somba samdum tarchim ba samdum masebe shen maung ba pendo gyachim bo yoyan de dindegi goba ongu cheche tu seba imbare.
Yes. So with respect to this line of homage or worship at the beginning of a text, it is first of all directed towards Lama Tsongkhapa's personal Lama and Manjushri, the Buddha of wisdom. So it's directed at his own Lama and Manjushri, and there's also great necessity for doing so, for starting a text with worship or a verse or a line of homage. First of all, it is said to be beneficial or instrumental in completing the composition of the text. And secondly, is considered to be important in terms of this text becoming in the future very beneficial and greatly benefiting other living beings. Yes. Then the first verse is the promise to compose the text. The first verse reads, "To the best of my ability, I shall explain the essential points of all the teachings of the conqueror, the Buddha, the path praised by the Buddha's sublime children, the Bodhisattvas, the entrance for the fortunate ones aspiring for liberation."
단다 남수상 마세베 슝 망부지기 나로로 sompo 탐적인 거요래. 딱 기우 탐보속이 니딘의 시성부인 저와딘의 직인식 탐자샤네. 한 탐자샤버들 때네 된주 sompo 타르신 보용 거요래.
So not just this text, the three principal aspects of the path, but many other treatises, many other Buddhist texts have a promise when the author makes a promise to compose the text. And so the necessity of that is, again, that the text will be completed. So in order for the text to be brought to completion, the authors make the promise, I will compose this particular text.
양탑에 따올 자네 한 대다 던지기 슝 등기인 전에 소소소소네 제시 겹단지 연구 요레스.
And so then from the point of view of these words here, then if you take the essential points of all the teachings of the conqueror, that is applied. So here in the translation, sorry, can I just quickly borrow your translation, or just to make sure I use the same. What page is it on? Okay, thank you. Yes, also here it's the second line. In the second line is the same as in Tibetan, it's actually the first line. So it just doesn't make sense if we don't change it around the line. So in the second line of the text here, so the second line of the first verse refers to renunciation, the essence of all the teachings of the conqueror. The next line, the path praised by the conqueror's children, refers to bodhicitta, and then the entrance for the fortunate who desire liberation refers to wisdom. So this is how it's commonly explained.
다 개회 손으로 winning 부터서 이중 전에 시에다 가서는 상계 좀 되는 게 최송의 디 뒤져서 동해를 타야게 주도 송거로. 동해를 타야 디 소디 동해를 타고도 시 동해를 녀버 중고도 삼물로 두고요. 디천에 이중이야.
So with this second line here, the essence of all the teachings of the conqueror, here this is taught in order to remove suffering. This is the goal of the Buddha's teachings, to liberate sentient beings from suffering. So therefore this particular line refers to renunciation, the mind of renunciation.
Dine Geshe tambanam ginga balamsage chenju semda dine 제시견단데 Geshe chenju semba chogi reward kharesana shendian jubyare 공부해야 돼 shendian jubyade 경가래 다 딘데we shendian 양타고 영향이 가봐도 열에서는 chenju sem도 도요래 딘데 chenju sem바 속에다 chenju sem데 shendian jubyage 딜라 딘는 게도 좋아 짜와 딘데
계속 담반는다 ngakwa 제스드레스 두스chen 진주센데
You see. And then the line, the path praised by the conqueror's children, that refers to bodhicitta, in the sense that what the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas work towards is the benefit of others. They work towards the benefit of other sentient beings. And in order to be able to do so correctly, bodhicitta is needed. So bodhicitta, the mind of enlightenment, this is basically the root of the path, the root of the path to Buddhahood. And therefore it is that which is praised by the conqueror's children. So in that sense, this particular line refers to, of the three principal aspects, bodhicitta.
근데 타도에 남기 중어디스 제 따타르바 되버 속에 가래 배주신 타보토고레스 제비는 동이도 be 시럽도 조 배주신에 타보토고로 냠스나네 타보토고로 띠인도 엔겐된 타도에 남기 죽서 배주체 조디 양타베 시럽드레스.
See. And then the fourth line of the first verse, it reads, the entrance for the fortunate who desire liberation. So here, what do we need for liberation? What is the means? What do we utilize in order to attain liberation? Well, what we need is the wisdom realizing emptiness. So that therefore then refers to wisdom. The last line of the first verse refers to wisdom in that which needs to be practiced in order to then attain one's own goal.
지단 뇌신 다게 셔버쳐 지름 붙이겠다. 강투도 숨부인 스티처 직네 캥경아 나게 칼로레 다직만 지름 붙이 땅하게 라서와 게 샹왕도 만교디 뒤충구요래. 저진에 직용용 지기 토네 대행가심부터 강투도 숨부인 직용용은 통네
So in Tibetan it then says, different from the English, the last line says, all this I will explain as well as I'm able. That's the last line. Actually in the Tibetan, here in the English is the first line. Yeah. So therefore, what does this mean? It has two aspects to it. That line where it says, I will explain as well as I'm able. In particular, as well as I'm able. That counteracts arrogance in that Lama Tsongkhapa says, as best as I can, as well as I can. So it indicates his humility. And secondly, it also indicates that Lama Tsongkhapa will compose something. Here we'll talk about something by way of a few words, but a vast meaning, a very extensive meaning.
강다 시베텔라 마샤시 텐조 텐에 쳐져 선바이 개와기베 람라 예데베 켄덴테다 타요 이기 뉘스 쳔네 디기 아니 녜 따등기 간 중부인 송사브라 따 중부인 안 somebody 칸주기 야부쳔 도난쳔네 롭존치 야부쳔네 녜쇼 쳔네 숨구요레.
And then the next verse, verse number 2, is urging those who listen to listen well. So it reads, listen with a clear mind, you fortunate ones, who are not attached to the joys of cyclic existence, who strive to make good use of leisure and opportunity, and direct your minds to the path pleasing the Buddhas. Pleasing the Buddha.
Digi nyamburkuwa zamdo masebe digablia shungdila lobjong chebata danen shenge nyamlen chebe kabi samlo tanda tian tin sungyunguyore. Digablia.
So not only does this text urge those practitioners or all of you to listen well, but it also urges you to study this text well and to put it into practice.
디글 따삼로단다 한디송구여레 샤비나 시베 데와스 코르벤난게 따지기 근노레 담년라레 텐졸레야 베시우지기 차범해봐. 대는 신기 텐조 된 나란수기 류덴 짜심부터 톱네. 류덴 텔레 때는 셋디점 마세 셋치마치마 남소야 편도 럽신요야 연구여러 봐. 디인드 삼발라 안에지 셋치마 편제 타른 걸로 삼어 땅토봐. 아니 딘데기 요야라야 지겨와 게베 탑메기 상게 그래 텐조기야 직탑럼 댄싱교 그러봐. 저기 텐졸이야 아니 이듬바 소선에 소선원에야 지주고도 디 냠슬랑 고도 세베 딘데지게 삼로지 고레스 이네다 단데 식디기야 니준샤사 양타베 따올로 소소소네 제시게미 셰단시 요레다 뒤즈미드 모고브체 딘데시 숨고요레스
So basically what it then goes on into, it talks about the importance of giving up attachment, that is craving for samsara, to give up craving for the pleasures and the fruits of cyclic existence. And then thereafter to also overcome our attachment to this very life, to just attachment to this particular life. And so also there are other aspects that can be now applied to all the different aspects here, but we don't have the time to go through all of those, applying all these other explanations to each one of them. So Rinpoche will just go through all the three aspects.
다 디젤이야 람솜 유베난게 다 니중게 삼로 사디 제시경고요레 디제네마.
So here then Rinpoche will start with now the first aspect, which is renunciation.
당보디 니중게 삼로 깨고베 금센다. 한 디젤이야 니중게 삼로 테 컨데스 깨고레스. 한 디젤이야 니중게 삼로 데 아니 즉 소소규를 템보시 컨데스 챤 중벌에 제 중수디 딘렉 톤에 니중 삼로 드시게요 그래.
So with regard to verse number 3, 4 and 5, those verses, they one after the other, the first verse, the first of those three, talks about the importance of generating renunciation, why it is important to generate renunciation. Then verse number 4, it talks about how to generate renunciation, and verse number 5 about how to stabilize, or what is the measure of having attained stable renunciation. What is the type of measure?
따탕보 니중기 삼로 디 딘데지 기주단 디윤디 당보 니중기 삼로 사데 가리메 셴고로 항소.
So first of all, we need to understand what renunciation is. What does it all refer to? What does renunciation actually mean?
딱 니중기 삼로 사데 간데치레. 다들 급들셰베 니중기 삼로 사데 간데라오시레.
What do you think renunciation here in this particular context refers to? What does it refer to?
다 토갈 유니서 인다스.
So those upstairs, please answer. Look upstairs. Oh, is this the camera? This is the camera? Okay. Or is it this camera?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, this one there. Oh, this one. Okay, sorry. Okay. A ceiling camera. Okay.
Yeah. 딱 니중기 삼로 사야디. 그러와 코알레 타르고도 세베 급디리 코알레 타르고도 삼로 템포도 쓰기요레.
Merci.
담마시 가산다바 게지 충분한 신기 레다 니몬레 때네 중심교육 단단하란서 풍부디 코로스고 여러분.
Merci.
딘데게 레니엘레 중베 다 개월라야레 타르고도 대점도 마세베 대기 코웨 유 레다 니몬도 제발레 타르고도 삼베 삼로 다 템포치글라 급디셰베 니중게 삼로스고 여러분.
Merci. So what does it refer to? What does actually renunciation here in this particular context refer to? It means a mind that thinks, I need to be liberated from samsara. I must be liberated from samsara. So Rinpoche spoke about this before. Rinpoche spoke about the fact that we are in samsara. What does samsara refer to? It refers to our aggregates, that is our psycho-physical complex, mind and body complex, that is the result of karma and afflictions. So therefore, our rebirth in so this is samsara. Now, wanting to be free from this particular body and mind, which are the result of karma and afflictions, wanting to liberate ourselves from these particular aggregates, wanting to liberate ourselves also from the causes, which are karma and afflictions. So it's that wish, the wish to liberate ourselves from these samsaric aggregates plus their causes. So this wish or this mind, I need to attain liberation. I need to get out of this. I need to liberate myself from those. That is described as renunciation.
다 디젤이야. 디젤이야. 남당이 좀에 시조에 된데 튜니시에 타면라 실라 깜바 이게 류제남. 그네 칭지를 토모니 준체 셰기 디기 다 등기 러브는 신기 니중기 삼로디. 딘데웨 니중기 삼로디 케코 금센 숨고요레스.
So therefore the text then reads verse 3. Without pure renunciation, there is no way to end attraction to the pleasures of cyclic existence. The craving for existence also binds beings. Thus, from the outset, seek renunciation. Now, as Rinpoche explained earlier on, this particular verse indicates the importance, that is the reason for generating renunciation.
남타 니좀에 시수이 쳔네. 급들 나버타베 니존스 쳔네. 남타 수고요레 티카레스는 아주 코알레 녀버 중국에서 삼로테야 녀손레 타르고 타나선베 삼로 디잠 시그마레스. 제 카를 딱급된 니존 남타데 카르스그레스 라비나 땡길라버네 셴기 귤레뇰레 때네 총샹교기 개월랑베 코로와 대딩의 총샹교 코르뱅 따지 펜소 여러분 유노라 소보레 덴졸레 녀버쇼메 삼로 슈크청부 총부이나 급디 나버타베 니존스그레스.
So here the text says without pure renunciation. Now, pure renunciation, what does that refer to? It basically does not just refer to the wish to overcome rebirth in the lower realms, but rather it refers to the wish to also overcome samsara, which is the result of karma and afflictions. So this body that is the result, and the mind that is the result of karma and afflictions. And then also the pleasures and the fruits of cyclic existence, the attraction and so forth, to overcome this. This is what this means here. This is what is meant with pure renunciation.
딘데 넘버터 뱅이준이 매바이나 다시바 로바 코로와 감수는 신게 탐매바 답베데 적다 매바 디기 나온 중된격이 코로에 네갑게 그노 롱제 민 년자 안데리아 텐드년에 다데서 단단 알아서 임바이나 다데서 쉬우직 좀지 다델레 셴게 알아서 시치모 편제레 타르베 대와사데 주비알라야 낭미 쇼르고 여러분 다 대달이야 녀버초에게 삼루 때이나 코레잉 원도다 그런 원도스네 코에 난게 직 코레 펜솔이야 창네 또 스테이그레스
맞
다든지 되니 시외 탑이와 말레스
노시 So here without pure renunciation, it therefore says there's no way to end attraction to the pleasures of cyclic existence. Actually, in Tibetan, it says there's no, the yearning for the pleasures of the ocean of cyclic existence. So ocean of cyclic existence here. So without pure renunciation, we cannot overcome the yearning for the pleasures and fruits of the ocean. Why ocean? Because samsara is limitless, like an ocean. It's deep and vast like an ocean. So from that point of view, here we need to overcome our yearning, our craving for this. So ordinarily, we crave possessions, we crave fame, reputation, and so forth. Those are the things we consider to be very important. We kind of don't think even of next lives. We don't consider, we totally ignore next lives and so forth. So here, therefore, what it's saying is that this yearning, this craving, is that which binds us, which is that which we need to overcome by generating renunciation.
다실라 깜바이게 류제남스 다 코레 분소다 된소라 착신신의 차네 단단한 시장하는 시지 대비나 다 그냥 가려요레스 봐 다디경 요레스 가르쳐다 디레 코용 분소 네가기 디네지 차네도 대비나 디체도 알레 징년벌에 당하는 신기 코에 먼저 대다 주비하기 체도 분소 대다 주비하기 체도 안에 배 지금 유모배 상황도 손에 아도 체네 딱 코에는 코네 동행 양 대야를 모두에 동행을 때도 다 연구 말이었어 인도 군의 진짜 도망 이준제였어 다 코에 규단 제바 당하는 신 코에는 기타견 내급기 증원도도 제발래 공도스는 코에 분소도 제발래 theory never shwe samlo tinish tempoche yabuchi kebarchawres.
So therefore it says then, it goes on to say in verse number 3, the craving for existence also binds beings. So it binds them. Basically it enchains living beings. So why is that? Because this is the disadvantage. This is the fault of cyclic existence. It basically binds us. The negative karma we have accumulated, that binds us, that enchains us. In that we will experience negative results. And likewise, in order to attain that which we wish for, we accumulate lots of afflictions. We become under the control. We are under the control of our own afflictive emotions. So we're captured by them. We're enchained by them. Which is why, therefore, the text goes on to say, therefore. So therefore, that is from the outset, or first, seek renunciation. It's important to start off with seeking renunciation.
다 텐전이가 셀러 롱메바 일하고베 세드 나셔도 낸레밀로 코에 동네나 양양선베 삼나 치면 나셔 도스 디기 다 경기 공도 니중에 삼로 깨고를 송부로 딱 근데 챤네 깨하게 탑시 쳐고를 디기 숨무 연구를.
Then in verse number 4 it reads, reverse attraction to this life by reflecting on how leisure and opportunity are difficult to find and how life is ephemeral and without span. Reverse attraction to future lives by repeatedly thinking of the infallibility of karma and its effect and the miseries of samsara. So here Rinpoche says that verse number 4 describes the methods or the means by which one is able to generate renunciation.
제 뉴몽레 대왕의 처음에 따지 코로와 코에나기 펜소 된소라 지금 망고지 고헌이 되게 여러 다는 신경을 안서 최를 롭정체 최를 도나여래들래 돈도 두스체네 대다기시 텐드니에 온도 두스투여래 다디 간데스체네 매브체올스체베나 아 탈롬니 여르스 고여레스 매브스답 탄데디 숄가시도 대간 탈롬니 스고여레스.
So here with regard to how do we generate renunciation in our mental continuum? Well, first of all, there are these afflictions that we have. And then there is samsara. We are caught in samsara. We are enchained by the splendors and the excellent things within samsara. So we're basically ensnared by them. We're tempted by them. Although we have the wish to study the Dharma, we have the wish to practice the Dharma, but we have a hard time doing so because we're so attracted, we're so moved away and enchained by those attractions within samsara. Which is why this particular text describes, or this particular verse describes two methods for generating bodhicitta. Oh, sorry, renunciation.
따디네 당보디 콜베 핀졸 딘디제기 차션 텔레 녜충기 상로케라 당보디 세디기 낭셰 도고레스 다당아란수 세딜기 식핀졸에 된서 슈케 전부 삼단되기 요래 디 당부 가오레스 단니버디 치메 낭셰도스 딱하시지 먼저 세딜레 있네야다 세틴 다세디 지고를 세지그르샤다 세치마 아니 밀류 톰난 디세레 세치마 하이류스는 톰네 디세레 삼상기 드레지 연구로 봐 드레지 전부 있네야 디기 템포시 타고 말에 챤네 치메낭셰 또 챤 디니 콘 수고요레스.
So the first method prescribed here for generating renunciation is to overcome attraction to this lifetime. So just the well-being, the splendors and so forth of just this lifetime. This refers to the first method. And then the next method is not only to overcome the attraction to this lifetime, but also overcoming the attraction to future lifetime within samsara. So Rinpoche here explained in particular with regard to the second method that usually we may think, okay, I give up my attraction to this lifetime, but then in the future I'll be reborn as a human or a celestial being, so that's sufficient. I'll be all right as long as I be reborn as a human or even a celestial being. However, this is not reliable. This is not reliable in the sense that we do not know whether this will actually take place, that we will be able to gain such a rebirth.
인도 딱 세딩 낭셰 도야 당부 소용 그래 대전이가 첼러롱만 봐 일하고 몇세대 낭셰 도 되게 소용 그래.
No, see. So, which is therefore why it says here, reverse attraction to this lifetime by reflecting how leisure and opportunity are difficult to find, how those are difficult to find, and there's no time to waste, how life is impermanent and without a span. So therefore, in that sense, it's important to overcome attraction to this life.
다 당부 가르치는 거여서는 나란스럽게 단다 미일류된 top 남주 개발진데 여봐 대신도 직처를 롭존체 그거 여된 게 류된데 하지 않게 냐벌까래 가버렸다 쇼직 자신 버렸다.
What does this say here? Well, actually, right now in this lifetime, we are human. We were born human. We have this unique human intelligence. We have the interest to study the Dharma. I'm sorry, I'm too fast. So, we are born human. We have a human intelligence. We have the unique human intelligence. We have interest to study. Now we need to realize that this is incredibly difficult to find. This opportunity, the leisure, the opportunities we have found in this lifetime are very rare.
세상 닌테웨 나란스기 고급 단데 텐쇼기 고급디 쉬우지게 깔래카보래 대기 텐쇼기 고급디기 고급딜라 하장기 누바침보 지디다 지침모 펜젤이야 타나스직 상계고 고만주에 저기 누바디 단단한 소리요레스 다딘데 누바디 제 니지고기 코레 펜졸이야 배주첸 한 단들 류된데 도스체 체비나 팡부쇼레스.
So having this great opportunity in this very life, which is so difficult to find, and which holds such great potential, not only for this lifetime or our next lifetime, but even from the point of view of attaining Buddhahood, if we just waste it for the pleasures, for the splendors of this life, it's a huge waste.
인데 먼저 삼로 고향부에 더네.
Therefore, we need to be open-minded. We need to be open-minded and make use of this unique opportunity.
제가 먼저 단다 삼로디 보수 더 붙여도 그래. 삼로 튼디 모두 땅도 요마래. 베네 보고 춘주 쉬어버체. 다디발로 고모 망고 요버치. 응 망고치. 베네 싱가포르 달러 딘데 로. 야 동라 딘데도. 응 동라 딘데 키니. 한 보고디 지리녀네. 다 보고디 무디테 지리디 주 라비네 그거. 나 쇼지 라승 버래. 하고 말봐. 증무기 린다 하고 말봐. 다디 린다 신게 직대비나 지리치기 된다리야 고모동라 담비나 다 미신다 저기 학원이 지 쉬고 펑거워. 이네 보고디 아우 돈동무디테네. 디송 삼버직다 소소소기 직 된다 주송 삼버 가난리기로.
Our problem is that we are very narrow-minded. We are very narrow-minded in that the goal that we pursue is just a very short-term temporary goal. So for instance, Rinpoche is giving the example of a child. When you give a child 1,000 Singaporean dollars, and if the child thinks, oh, how great, wonderful, I'm going to buy a lot of candies from this. So basically, this child doesn't really understand the value of these 1,000 Singaporean dollars, and they are very likely to then waste it on meaningless candies. Whereas another person would understand the value of the money and use it wisely. So in the same way here, therefore we should not be satisfied with something meaningless, with something temporary, but look for, that is, set our mind towards a greater goal.
아주 단대 고급 자치 보면 거지. 니기 친주직 튼대야 뒤지 튼든직 디길이야 또 스트라단 주고요.
So we have this very precious opportunity in this lifetime. We've achieved this very precious opportunity, so we should not waste it for a little bit of happiness, for very short, a very temporary type of happiness.
텐조니가 첼라 롱메바스 땅가란조 체디 베슈지기 그름부대니 근데 여보이네야 다저 간삼시보도 소소 되버는 체디기다 도스체 코에 빈절다 안디젤이야 최저로야 도스체네 다양지 고급지 여러봐 띠는 가서 딜레 요 말했어 간다 상문을 시큐리스 치야디야 남신 예바 메버레스 띠인도 삼발라다 카시 상브르와 단당알로 춘주이 다 저기 로천부 차소나 지금 냠내치에 삼사 딜레 요아 요 말했어 셀링이 돼요 말했어.
So therefore the text here is saying that this opportunity is difficult to find and there is no time to waste. In the sense that life is impermanent and without span, in the sense that not only do we have to die one day, life will not last forever, but there's also no certainty as to the time when this life will end. There's no certainty when death will come. And so some people think, oh, right now I'm young. I can do something else. I'll start practicing the Dharma when I'm older. But Rinpoche is saying that is not a good idea because we don't know when we will die, so we should not postpone it.
No. 제 따디 텐조니가 제 첼라 롱메바 쳔네. 다 되게 텐조니가 쓰되 텐조 텐제. 첼라 롱메바 쓰되 치워미다고 삼을다야. 딩니기 턴에 세대 낭셰 도했은 거요.
So therefore here the first two lines of verse number 4, they're basically addressing two topics. Precious human rebirth, so saying that this opportunity is difficult, so leisure and endowments here are difficult to find, leisure and opportunities are difficult to find. Those are addressing the topic of precious human rebirth. And then the words how life is ephemeral and without span, this is addressing death and impermanence, another topic. And by way of that, we're able to overcome our attraction to this lifetime.
Teacher, 따디네 렌데밀로 코에동에는 양양선 비치면 하셔도스. 따 세디다 문에 기딘데 샤슴선 칠레네. 따 세치모 편제 댕길라버는 신기 르덴 상보 밀류 토야다 하율류 토버 덴데지 채나 디스레 삼산티안 따다 딩 말이스. 세치모 밀류 토브 하율류 토브 덴데지 셰베 이네야. 아니 쿠란기 귤라 레망고 슈슈요레스. 좋아? 렌데 밀로레스. 아니 밀루 단디레스 톰닌 유에 있네야. 개왕가만놈 사신 그 레망고치기 다 양갸 구에는 께네. 이 코아사마레 녀송녀로서 비케네. 동에 망고시 연구레스. 카인스는 렌데 밀로레스. 네갑데 케메베 있네야. 코 연구레스. 대신도 코에 동에나 밀루 터버 있네야. 하율루 터버 있네야. 코레 동에 하바도 캬바 두지기 동에라서 왜 예브레스. 대인도 삼발랐다 캬바 두지기 동에 대기 용야기 규 뉴뭉레 맞춰버식 임바이나 밀루 텀네다 하율루 텀네다 네급 삼레 모드베 아니 동에레 쳐가지고 중요 말이에요.
So therefore or on top of so here in the now it goes on to say it then continues by saying reverse attraction to future lives by repeatedly thinking of the infallibility of karma and effects and the miseries of samsara. So here the latter two lines of verse number 4, they're saying that the thought a human rebirth in the future, that's okay, or the thought celestial being reborn in the celestial realms, that is okay. Well, that is actually not right in the sense that this is not reliable. We should not hope for those types of rebirth since it's not reliable. In the sense that it explains here in the text that karma, the law of karma is infallible. It is infallible, and therefore the kind of karma we've created in the past may result in all sorts of rebirth. So we cannot hope to always be reborn in the human realm or the celestial realm due to the infallibility of karma. And because we've accumulated so much different karma, we may be reborn somewhere else, which is therefore it's not reliable. But not just that, furthermore, also, even if we were reborn in the human realm, even if we were reborn in the celestial realm, this is still pervasive conditioned suffering. in the sense that it's still the result of the afflictions, of past afflictions. It's still the result of afflictions and karma, and therefore it is in the nature of suffering. We have not yet overcome suffering if we're born as humans or celestial beings.
다 대답하면 코에 편절로 이미 깨지상에 미게시 인제군도 타워 대연도 중나티 생이 좀 개발라. 다 광도 수송받는 신기 최대 낭셰도에게 탑시 삼단 콤지체. 다음에 신기 치매 낭셰도에게 콤지체네. 삼로다. 태양 삼로 태양마직님에 봐. 양양 삼로다. SM나로 배 소식충부실래. 콤지체네. 한 타르모네게 제디기 편조이네요. 인구민도 제시마이네야 류된 상부 용부이네. 랑바심바이네야 딱바템보다 케민도 당원에게 코알을 최고도 뉴문을 최고도 삼배 삼로 베디 낭함 쇼쇼기 니메가블이야 ngaranso 주고 연애다 니에게 연애 가서 대 칼라스고 연애 내가 지고 연애 생부술이야 샤팅교 타는 니 고백가비네 미남 순전에 된대지 샤워 충분히나 급들 숭배 니중의 삼로데 템포게 버려 숭고.
So then if you look at verse number 5, contemplating thus, when you do not for an instant admire the splendors of cyclic existence and remain intent on liberation day and night, renunciation is then born in you. So this particular verse is describing now the measure for having now generated renunciation, in that when you familiarize yourself with the earlier reflection, if you familiarize yourself with this, then at some point you will become you will be able to generate renunciation, in that you no longer have a strong feeling towards the attraction of samsara. You're no longer tempted by it. So you no longer admire, you no longer follow after the splendors of samsara. And so this is so strong, you do not see any essence, you don't see any meaning in samsaric existence any longer. To such a degree that it arises naturally, that you will have a natural feeling, this does not hold any meaning for me, this is not meaningful. And also the strength of it, will grow to such an extent that day and night you're intent on liberation. So when you eat, when you drink, even when you sleep, at the time of sleeping, in the back of your mind, there's always the intention, I want to be liberated. It'll always be there at all times, day and night, you have the wish to be liberated. So this type of familiarity, if we familiarize our mind in the way described here, this will definitely take place. We will definitely be able to familiarize our mind in such a way. So what it says here with regard to the main aspects, it is said here so that we familiarize ourselves with this, that we practice this and habituate ourselves to those ideas. So then the next verse, verse number 6, is the verse of bodhicitta, generating bodhicitta. So here, verse number 6 says, renunciation, however, if not tempered by a pure mind of bodhicitta, does not bring forth the perfect bliss of unsurpassed enlightenment. Therefore, the wise ones generate the excellent mind of bodhicitta. So this describes the importance of generating the mind of enlightenment, or bodhicitta.
다 셈스도 닌데베 상기가 고반데 심제 시행기체도 니 토부도 스체네 삼로 코니 코바 삼도 마세요 삼로도 콤니 타로 하장기 템보 하장기 누바침보 디레지기 네가게 셈스네라 상기 고반 토버도 삼 디레지라야 전주기 셈스기요래.
So here when we talk about bodhicitta, or in English it's the mind of awakening, the mind of enlightenment. In Tibetan, Changjub Sem. So Changjub means enlightenment or bodhi. So that is the state of awakening or the state of enlightenment. Chitta, or mind of, or sem in Tibetan, basically means the mind that wishes for that, wishes for enlightenment, in the sense that it is for the benefit of others, for the benefit of other sentient beings, wishing to become enlightened. So familiarizing the mind again and again and again with this wish until it's become very stable and then holds an incredible potential, an incredible power. So this is this particular mind, the mind of enlightenment, the mind that wishes to become enlightened. But actually, before we can generate this particular mind, before we can actually generate to benefit sentient beings in the sense wanting to become enlightened, first we need to just have the wish to help other sentient beings, to be there for other sentient beings. In the sense, we need to generate the wish, I myself will do something to relieve them from suffering. So this is described as the special attitude or the special altruistic attitude. This needs to precede the generation of bodhicitta.
Dindewe nge simje shengi dungye seya dus chigi yesebe samlo dinde shukchimbu yombola simje jir simje ngi dungye narwa denzo dungye le chena kangene chena sambe ningji de shukchimbu shku dingel.
But then even the special altruistic attitude that I myself will do something, that needs to be preceded by the wish for sentient beings to be free from the experience of suffering, wanting sentient beings to be free from suffering, which in other words is compassion or great compassion.
Ta dindewe simje dungye gi narwala ya ningji kia lo de jangdabla ani zo khari ngoyosana marchebata chinchembala sube tone jangdab chikche ane dashen nyamje sajik tone lo jangda ni ngoyores.
And there are two methods that enable a practitioner to generate this type of compassion in their mental continuum. One method is understanding that all sentient beings have at some point being our mother, remembering or becoming aware of their kindness and wanting to repay their kindness. That is one method. And the other one is equalizing and exchanging self with others.
대체 딱 이준태야 남다 semge기스 다 코알리 저거도 선배 삼로디 즉 전축이 셈다 샴페인게 셴텐도 근데 저기 셈 삼로 캐바징이 셈버지만 shum부이나 랑텐 지고 차로 그랬어.
나스.
근데 이 삼로도 야춘주르스.
나스.
근데 삼발라 아니 근데 저기 전축이 셈다 저거다 근데 좀 shum부이나 라미 전주 상계 고반 줘야 연구 말했어. samlo gyachin ju charu res tin ta loden namge ngone ge samlo gyachin bo guyang bo yobachina a chenju ge sem de gya tabshi charu res jig nam nyamne khandire chebine sangge ge goban gyulo joya de zo chenju ge sem bitan jo jig charu azu namge tijin de jugo ko de simgi sungo yorba
So then with respect to here therefore the text basically explains then, if renunciation is not conjoined now, if it's not brought together with pure bodhicitta, then this renunciation together with bodhicitta will not become a cause of the sublime bliss of unsurpassed enlightenment. So then our goal will be too small, it will be too narrow. Our goal will be too narrow, which is why here the text is saying we should be far-sighted. We should not be narrow-minded or narrow-sighted, but we should be far-sighted. Take to mind a wider goal, a greater goal, which is bodhicitta. So bodhicitta indicates that particular goal, the goal of enlightenment. And this is also described as the entryway, the door or the entryway into the Mahayana practice.
디제 따디네 따디제리야 다 전주의 샘디 게 구구이나 전주의 샘디 컨테스 기답 채고래 계절에 인구를 디젤라 다 지난 전주의 샘 기답 땡길라버는 생기 탑로 먹고 여러들 쪼직디 닝지 길로데 숙심부기 거야 돼 개심부직 승고요래 디인도다 디젤이야 심진 시엔라 미베 닝지게 탑시데 쪼스문 그랬어.
Then the next verse, and that's verse number 7, describes the way how one is able to generate bodhicitta, the means by which one generates, or the methods by which one generates bodhicitta. So as described earlier, there are many different methods. However, what we need to definitely generate first, before we can generate bodhicitta, is compassion. So compassion, how we can bring forth compassion, is now described in this particular verse.
다 당부디 슈라 추시 경기키르스 다 좋았음전소 배가서 추첨부직나 홍보는 신기 배 개간하시기 동에는 홍대요 그랬어.
Yes. So the first line of verse 7 reads, swept by the current of the four powerful rivers. So basically what this is saying, that sentient beings are constantly swept away by the current of the four powerful aspects, which are birth, aging, sickness, and death. Those are the four powerful rivers that sentient beings are constantly swept away by.
도갈래기 치원 탐비담스 딘제위 추심부지나로랑아서 깡발라고 담샤나 추딜레 죄토에 가고라 디는 신가란서 좋아서 깨가나식 능해나로야 마트에슈도 영화에다 가르스나 레기 왕기도 차대샤스.
Yes. So then it goes on to say, tied by strong bonds of karma, so hard to undo. So if you visualize you being swept away by these four currents of powerful rivers, if then on top of it you're chained to, that is, you're bound by a rope, it's very difficult to get yourself out of the water. So similarly here, this is saying that we're bound by karma. We're bound by karma, so we experience those problems and we can't get out of them because we're chained by karma.
따디르 레디야 던지자게 잘 부수셔서 레디야 베디 독초조지다 맵 소초초쇼 말이스 데베 자게 차와 칼라고레 던진기시 베 자게 차와 베디 자게 차든서 남서 뚝초초든데 요 말와 인데 베디 던진다 딘데기 왕기 레서가 요레스 똑바까베
Los. So then it goes on to say, caught in the iron net of self-grasping. So on top of the fact that we are bound by karma, on top of that, we're also caught, that is trapped in an iron net of self-grasping. So it's already difficult enough to clear, to free ourselves from the bonds of karma. But on top of that, or it's already that sentient beings, not only are they trapped by karma, they're also caught or trapped by the iron net of self-grasping.
아니 딘데요 다 던싱 온 레사 딘데 치기나 녀크도 딘데 신고이나 단저 던싱기 다 딘데 녀크가 가레스나 머리 멤버 막진 거는 됐어 네루글라 몽베텔라 되는 용되게 그랬어.
So what is it that is responsible therefore for sentient beings having self-grasping, which then leads to karmic actions that are being accumulated? Well, the cause of all that is described in line number 4 of verse 7. Completely enveloped by the darkness of ignorance. So we are enshrouded by the darkness of misperception, confusion, or ignorance.
인도 삼발라다 좋았어. 단진 뉴몬다. 대원기 레다. 레기 원기다. 베티 동양 망고 쉬우시게. 도스 용되게 요래. 스와 당길라버는 신경은 시기 동양 용되게. 딘 용야한테야. 개와직. 개와니 디는 말이스. 몸이 씹어게 신겨. 탐해봐. 개와 직난 동해용, 개와 니버들 동해용, 개와 소벌 동해용. 안에 도스천에 동해 쉬운 용구도. 다음에 신기 동해 양 현지기 터는 용당 현지 승우요. 동해기 동해, 규례 동해, 캬버도 지 동해라서 양네. 아 베트로 먹고지. 베트 동해 빠고면 너렇게도. 근데 내가 된다기에 만남기스. 다 내가 된다는 이유된 게 좋아. 개왕가만 남서란 게 마치는 부터 속에 다 강에 뒷삼네. 강에 주답디. 저기 샘저 샘데 깨고로 봐.
Therefore, basically, sentient beings are therefore, because of their self-grasping and other afflictions, they continuously accumulate karmic actions. And as a result of those, they experience the fourfold suffering of being born, of growing old, of sickness, and of death. But not only do they experience this once, but they experience it again and again and again. So this is what it says in verse number 8, born and reborn in boundless cyclic existence. So being reborn over and over again in limitless cyclic existence. And then not only that, on top of that, there are also the 3 types of sufferings which they experience. So here it says, ceaselessly tormented by the 3 miseries. So this refers to the 3 types of suffering, which are suffering of suffering, suffering of change, and pervasive conditioned suffering. So those are the 3 types of suffering that sentient beings repeatedly, over and over again, have to experience. So thinking of our mothers in this condition, so reflecting on the plight of our mothers in this condition, therefore generate the supreme mind of bodhicitta. This is what number 8 says.
Oh yeah. That dijelya yang tabe shirab tsunguyori tungi dobe shirab tsunguyori.
So then thereafter with verse number 9 and the remaining verses, this describes the correct view of realizing emptiness.
단동이 도베 실험 것이 가산데 밖에 주문은 신기 소소이네래 소소 롱죄 최근에 신이야 파제가 치니 파제제제네 베나 소소이네 nga sam등 요라 nga데 제가 치니 아니 파 두두 삼발라 nga디 덕실에 된 정원은 nga 임버지 민도와 딜라 nga 딩기 똥이 쓰게 요래 다가네 신기 nga 긴네탄 타르토버티 아니 즉 주구주는 이규민교 이네 땡지저 중원 삼기 릉신 언디리지로 딘데 딘달 딘데웨 똑벌로틸라 양도베 똑버 시럽스기요레스 동이도 시럽스기요레스.
Yes. Now with regard to these verses that describe the correct view. Now, usually when we think of I, when we actually search for that I, when we look for that I, as Rinpoche mentioned earlier, yesterday during his talk, actually when we search for this particular I, among the bases, mind and body, if we search for the I, there's nothing that we can find. There's nothing that can actually be found that we can point at to be called the I. Instead, there's only interdependence. There's dependent arising, but there is nothing that we can actually find. So therefore, we talk about the emptiness of the I. So this refers to here, the view that understands the emptiness, that correctly understands that, is described as the correct view.
따디네 코알링 예버 중국도 승리중 삼르시티 깨야 개침불에 이내 디지고기 코알링 예버 중통 말이스 그리고 니중 전주 삼르 검체견스 따다는 신기 전주기 쌤 심지어 탐지하기 전에 상기 코바 토고도 집에 삼르티 개침불시라래 이내 디지고기 상기 코바 토도 말이스 배낭 아주 행동 침보 쉬어버이나 그리고 따니 행동도 또 행동도 배나도 매버 쏘고 이나 따니 행동도 매버 쏘인 집에 심슈드면은 행동 돕도 말와. 이내 행동디 매버 쏘인 심슈 요버 지고기 안에 행동 매버 쏘야게 배나 솔리스그와 따디데다 디네 매버는 매버 쏘도 말와. 딘데 당보 심슈 고래 따 심슈 요버선 뭐서 딩고스 매버 쏘야게 락자도 고요. 딘 락자 쏘야데 동이 돕 시럽도 차요레스.
So therefore here it says that actually, although you train yourself in renunciation in the mind of wisdom, in mind of bodhicitta, so even though you generate renunciation or bodhicitta, that is not sufficient. So this is why is this the case? Well, Rinpoche gave the example or the analogy of a tree. If you want to cut a tree, to just wish to cut the tree, that is not sufficient. So that would be like renunciation or bodhicitta, the wish to cut the tree. You actually need a tool. You need a saw or an axe to use to cut the tree, to fell the tree. So therefore, here, the tool that helps you to fulfill your aspiration is the mind realizing emptiness. The correct view.
yeah. That 넬로도 뭐 실험 미대나서 다 가르치네 실업디 매버이나 매버서 두고 요만했으나 아주 코알 줘야 되는 상물로 짜와 이제 난심머리 벌을 쳐고요. 딘심머리 벌을 쳐고요. 디 매버서야로 또 nemba zimba ningshin di mudruba to lo de shukcherta dinde ji tar ngusum to inde tongba sa pang ro dine pa khalawre dini gunden komne gomban pa pang ro yo a dinde ji tone tar nyumon de je pongya shingu yo res dinde di zo dong do shirab de.
So therefore it is this understanding of emptiness that we think about again and again. We contemplate this again and again until we realize, we understand what emptiness refers to. And then we further stabilize this mind. We further stabilize it and then eventually gain a direct experience, which is described the level of seeing, the path of seeing. We gain a direct experience of emptiness. And when once again, with that direct experience, we familiarize ourselves with that direct experience, which is then described as the path of meditation, until eventually we can actually eliminate, we can cut the tree, we can cut that which is in the way to our goal.
Oh yeah. 제 안에 집에서 디지털도 못할 베스. 랑궁은 주요 말에 서로 덕싱은 주요 말에 가르스나 때에 되어 총어리도가 디 금전의 체네 아니 땡중 금전의 체에 동의딩 이야기 탑시 차고래 순구도.
Yes. Therefore it says here, so you cannot cut the root of cyclic existence, therefore strive to understand dependent arising in verse number 9. So in other words, from the side of the basis of imputation, that is mind and body, from the side of the basis of imputation, since nothing can be found, therefore the self or phenomena, they exist interdependently. That is their dependent arising.
디나마 저기 14톤에 망고슈야 요래다 뒤즈민도 초진에 데스지 칼로그래 칼에 카보 요래다 맞답데 우리 슈인다. 디나마 신 예와치네 망고슈야 요래.
Yes. So actually from then onwards for the rest of the text, this is a very detailed explanation can be given on this, but of course there's not that much time. Moreover, this is quite difficult to understand, so Rinpoche will give you an abbreviated explanation of the following verses.
다 간시 코데슈나 탐제기 균레남의 로엄에도 미베데서 한인군시바 테네 상계기바 람르쇼스체네 다 코레기 뒤베처레 냥대기 뒤베처레 최 간제르 신비네야 최대다 귤라테네 제부딩고도 깬라테네 제부딩고도 다가는 신기 차셰르 독젤 때네 테다데 연구도 세네 딘중기 그렇다 간제 돌되고 있나 딘중기 남샤들 과야 보시오지 차 최탐젤 딘데베 차과 태기 금생기 최 컨디션 때네 총알 삼르샤 시 과차 차바텔 때네 미베데서 랑궁원의 주바 딘 미베데서 체 안티파 곡토브 shum부이나 테나 상기기 발람르쇼 이 양토베 따와디 귤게 버리스.
Yes. So here with regard to verse number 10, so one who sees the infallible cause and effect of all phenomena in samsara and nirvana and destroys all focuses of apprehension has entered the path which pleases the Buddha. Now with regard to this particular verse here, so a person who has understood the infallible cause and effect, in other words, here we talk about dependent arising from the point of view of having three aspects. Dependent arising with regard to an effect, arising as a result of causes and conditions. So dependence on causes and conditions. And then likewise, any result has parts. So any phenomenon has parts. So there's a dependence on parts. And then there's a dependence on a mind labeling it. In that sense, so once you understand how phenomena exist in dependence on causes and conditions, parts, and labeling, then you gain an understanding of dependent arising. And if then, as a result of that, you destroy all focuses of apprehension, so having understood dependent arising, you now understand that phenomena cannot exist from their own side. So this is where Rinpoche says that destroys all focuses of apprehension, like the focus of objectifying, of seeing things from their own side. Once you're able to do that, independence on dependent arising, you enter the path that pleases the Buddha.
Now the law me bata tomba kenen cheyo ko ani chise soso now this to tandu tobe ko mo toba mes. Ta pena poverty chashavina. Poverty meba mare poverty yores. Poverty tenji to chung re sungu yorwa. Poverty tenji to chung re dele tomba kenen cheyo rangu ngene tsena yo mares che disungu yore. Ta de indu ta ngazu khane di sheba dindejik she tu yor dele samle nawlone. Tenji to chung na 능기 요구도 요구도스 다 랑공원에 매비나 주고조서 민도스 삼리 샘게 나올로 딘데지기 시직 랭냠도 템분 칼라오레 니소레 중고 매비나 DS 지 용고 매비나 아니 던도 투베 공부 또 보면서 투베 공부 따와디 야 양타바 따와리야 쥐바 딱제시야 체 말롱 보시레스 싫어 맞어 버렸어.
And then in verse 11 it says, appearances are infallible, dependent arising. Emptiness is the understanding that is free of assertions. As long as these two are seen as distinct, you have not yet realized the intent of the Buddha. Sorry. So anyway, Rinpoche is saying now with regard to the cup, for instance. So this cup is not non-existent. It does exist. But it exists as a dependently arisen phenomenon. In that it does not exist inherently. It cannot be found to exist from its own side. So here in that sense, it appears to be there, but it doesn't exist intrinsically. So on one hand, it lacks inherent existence, but it does appear, that is, it exists inherently. If you cannot see those two as both fitting in the sense that those two are concurrent, if you're not able to understand both of those sides, the emptiness and the dependent arising of those two, then you have not completely understood the right view. If you still see those as contradictory, dependent arising and emptiness.
Teacher. Oh yeah. 남시 rinshome be chikje tende milu thong sam yin ngi she gu sinda go jin da tezita be cheba sopa las che. Ta pobe ting la ya. So rinshome se samle ting sha ya kan she gi mar pobe ting la ya pobe de tenne de wo chung ina rangwone me sa di des kabu do samsa. Chimbu matewa. Rangwone me ba ina ar tenji de wo chung tiya lol char matewa tinde me ba che. Chikje do 아니 조금씩 뭐지 하고도 포버드 땡진 저기 금생기 디 고아처비 금생기 포버드 랑원에 주버 레멘도 신이 땡준토이 금생기 파 고아 믹스기 딘데 스테토버 충어이나 안디디 데자타베 제버서 월스타 타베 시럽기 느바스네다 딱저 조버드레스.
Yes. So on the other hand, here it says in verse number 12, when these two realizations are concurrent, where the mere sight of infallible dependent origination concurrently destroys all modes of grasping through definite discernment. Oh, that one slowly? Okay. When these two realizations are concurrent, where the mere sight of infallible dependent origination concurrently destroys all modes of grasping through definite discernment, at that time, the analysis of the profound view is perfected. So, with regard to this, what Rinpoche is explaining here, so actually once you familiarize yourself with these two ideas, emptiness and dependent arising, again and again, at some point, you reach the understanding that although this cup appears to exist from its own side, it does not exist, it is not findable among its parts, but is rather labeled by the mind. It is imputed by the mind as being a cup. And so once you understand that, so then there's a sense that, so initially there may be a little bit of discomfort when you have a sense, oh, because it's dependently arisen, it's difficult to say that it doesn't exist from its own side. Or when you think about the fact that it doesn't exist from its own side, initially it's difficult to think that it's dependently arisen. But when this difficulty no longer occurs, when you feel that this makes total sense, that with regard to one object, you have both. It does not exist inherently. So it doesn't exist inherently, but it exists independently. You bring those two together. You're now able to make both work for you now, both aspects. And it goes to such a degree that you use the reasoning of dependent arising to establish or prove for yourself that phenomena do not exist inherently. So it is because phenomena depend on other phenomena, therefore they cannot exist inherently. This is when you have actually reached this point where the analysis of the profound view is perfected. You brought those two together.
대체 따디네 셴 나요 유더 세워도 동배메다스지 동배이 규더 저버쳐 수신의 텐스다의 촉법 민규로 체 디기 태규 투모마임베 당시 다 시수치 순구요레스.
Yes. Then verse 13. Furthermore, appearances refute the extreme of existence. Emptiness refutes the extreme of non-existence. When you understand that emptiness arises in the form of cause and effect, you are not captivated by the view of extremes. So verse number 13, what it says is that here it describes the uncommon description of the Madhyamika Prasangika school with regard to how to overcome the two extremes of nihilism and reification.
제 따디 지단게 데스칼레 가보요레 디인도다 망부슈네 뒤즈민도 왔다 단도 뒤즈여 사도.
So Rinpoche is saying this is actually a little difficult. This particular
not little difficult.
Very difficult.
Very difficult.
Sorry, wrong translate. So this is actually very difficult. Now Rinpoche is saying we don't have that much time. In fact, Rinpoche says, "Oh, time is up." So, but yeah.
그래서 남규 셴 갈라오래. 나왜 메타세스고요. 남규 조단 쉐위나.
No say.
그래서는 나와서도 다 땡지 저거 중요하다. 다음은 신기 자와 지구도가 저기 도와 슬럽디 아니 메버세스. 배는 포버드 샤샤나. 포버드 메버 말했어. 포버드 땡이 메버 말해. 포버드 땡지 저거 중요해서. 이게 나왜 남규 메타세스. 메버드 파 고토고요.
Usually we say in most of the scriptures it says that in other non-Prasangika scriptures it talks about the fact that if you fall into the extreme of nihilism, what counteracts that extreme is the fact of dependent arising. So if you understand, no, this cup is not non-existent, as it may we may have an extreme sense that it doesn't exist, it's not non-existent because it appears, because it's a dependent arisen phenomena. This is how we usually overcome the extreme of nihilism.
디네 남규 동배 여다세스 봐. 다 포버디 랑싱그드베 동거레스. 랑싱그드베 동거 인바 인사 안 뎀버드베 예베 타디 요마레스.
Then the other extreme is the extreme of reification, perceiving this cup to be inherently existent, but then reflecting upon emptiness counteracts that. So because the cup doesn't exist inherently, therefore the extreme of reification, of existing it, perceiving it as existing truly, that is counteracted.
제 따딘다 태교에 투모마인베 간다 딜리숭 타시즈 간데 숨고로선 셴 나웨 유다세스. 포버디 땡지르워 충어레스. 땡지르워 충어 인도 고 뎀버드르버 여버 마레스. 가레스나 땡지르워 충어 인도 삼발라 추르도 그르버지 요 마레스. 디기 고믹세 중고 유도 삼발라 유다세토고요.
So here, this is the view from the point of view of the Prasangika, where it says, appearances refute the extreme of existence. So dependent arising here refutes the extreme of reification, of inherent existence. So when you take the cup, because this cup depends on other factors, it cannot exist as a concrete independent phenomenon.
다 동배 메타세스 티모마인베 다 rangshing dribe tongbares ruwa pobadi rangshing dribe tongba yinza ane kalawra medicine rangshing dribe tongba yinza ane tenji dribe chunga res ruwa rangshing drumna ane tenjungi geje shaya mares rangshing dribe tongba yinza surdu dribe tongba yinza shenla tenne dribe res digi medicine togudo yoba dribe togudo.
Now, with regard to the second line, emptiness refutes the extreme of non-existence. Now, since this cup does not exist inherently, therefore it exists in dependence on other phenomena. And if it exists in dependence on other phenomena, it must exist. So therefore, understanding that this cup does not exist intrinsically from its own side helps us to understand that it can exist.
다 교단 제버처의 수신의 텐스타의 초보민교로스다 땡존다 동반이 펜스 펜토밤 찌기찌기 다 좋아야 딘지 쉬우지 3년은 템포 충분히 아니 템포 쉬우지 차도레스 어도체.
But when you can combine these two, when you see that dependent arising versus emptiness, they assist each other. They assist each other in terms of your understanding. So then if you understand, therefore, that emptiness arises in the form of causes and effect, then your understanding is actually stabilized. Then you have a stable perception of emptiness.
다 디젤이야 대다 남기서 남성이 내내 랑게 지진 또고서 엠버텐데 준료 또고때 땡게 드문이도 줍시 포스체네다 남기서 넘버숨데 네 nenga다 고아지 차네 엔 디젤을 소소 그 칸토도게 아니 엠버텐 삼류이네야 저 칸토도게 최저를 땅토버직 돈 냠랭이 돈 땅토니 생변할로다 저기 두지스기로 된서 칸토도 두지 샘기나로 남도 먹고 싶가네 딱 한지 칸토도 냠랭이 돈 채우래 아니 저기 딱 한지 도스체네 채우래 아니 땡기 드문유도 주시 포스체네 대지름 좀 송서랑게 로마 차고 엄봉아원 잡았어도 딜을 숨고요래 딜이야 포스체네 하전 돈 예배 톤에 세배 톤에도 숨버래 균형하면서 상마 숨버랬어.
So here in the verse number 14 reads, O my child, once you have realized thus the points of the three principal path, seek solitude and cultivate strong determination and quickly reach the final aspiration. Now this last verse is basically urging the disciples to put into practice what you have just learned about the three principal aspects of the path, to gain an understanding and to the best of your ability, seek solitude, in the sense, seek a place where you're no longer mentally disrupted. Basically calm your mind from disruptions, and then with strong determination, work towards the final aspiration. And here, when Lama Tsongkhapa says, "Oh, my child," explicitly, this is directed at one of his disciples, who was like a landlord of a place called Sako, and he was called Ngawan Takpa. So Ngawan Takpa, so explicitly he addresses him, implicitly he talks to us as being his children, his disciples.
Yes.
So there has not been much time to go into much detail on this particular text, but Rinpoche hopes that in this short time he's been able to give you some impression, some sense of the meaning of this particular text. Has it become a little bit clear? Did you have some sense of what it means?
Yeah. 아니 디 양야 로바 남존남손 지당가 차샤나다 겨울음식 군대네 템만 것 톱대요 그래. 이제 인카란스 인에다 지 남존남손레 남기 슝데저 양야 롭종체 삼로탄 아니 딘데체네 땡땡게 세르세르 조그래 다는 신기 소소 삼로난로리네 펜도체를 조그래 냠렌라 팽기래 아니 무튜네 롭종체의 개심부레스.
So Rinpoche is saying that this text is important in that you should learn about this again and again. Rinpoche himself has received this text from His Holiness the Dalai Lama many times. And so this text and other texts, you should read these again and again. So to study them, gain some understanding until you have some clarity. And also you should make an effort to put them into practice. So this will be beneficial for you and will help you to gain some experience. So to continue studying and practicing. It is very important, Rinpoche says, that you continue to study. Not just study, but not just study. That itself is not enough. What else?
Practice. Yeah. Shazan. Anche entando de kanzo da dinal pedinye da halam da mangche DCB da ji loma chade yore da chozo chashane chozo dine ya da mixege je gyarum chege rewa da tumun da jewa yetenge je chade yore. Inde chozo tolia da ji toto pasumge kalegyun samololia tuche shuye.
Nos. So therefore, also you, all of you who are here, you have a connection. You're students who are studying at the TCB, at the Tibetan Buddhist Center. So many of you are students, and this is a very special Buddhist center because it is under the patronage of His Holiness, in that His Holiness has great hopes. His Holiness the Dalai Lama has great hopes and prays for this center here, which is why it is important that you continue your work, and also the members of this, the volunteers and the people working for the center have been working very hard in the past, in the present, and so forth. So they're making great effort to keep this center running.
Maumbo mutune ande ditolia chale na yensore dane shingi jig jenda sore ande jig chama nyamru thone kompo kyachim bushene jig mutune yarge yoang rewo yus.
And so also in the future they will continue to work hard. So those of you working hard, the sponsors who support this, so it's Rinpoche's great hope that this will continue to thrive and expand.
Chozo Genla Chogi Shashan Geshe and Dela Sumbinata Shiragi the Beja Yapore, the Danashin Geshe Kambare, and Jig Kurans Robate Kans Loption Cha, those Chog Loption Chasetia, Gigan Onege.
So on top of that, your spiritual teacher, the spiritual teacher or Lama of your center, Geshe Yönten, who is a great scholar, a great master of the scriptures, who has completed his studies very successfully, and he's a great Geshe, and so you're very fortunate having him as your teacher. He's a fully qualified spiritual Lama, spiritual teacher.
Oh yeah, and
so time, we've gone beyond the actual scheduled time, so Rinpoche will now finish these teachings for today.
And Tation to Singapore, Tation to Chig Sane Shenda Shan Linea, and she Trashivo Yoya, Teringasane, Kawaii, Kanyam Wingudo, that's been a case of Terin Shashane, Japan Nalolia, Chugi, Chava Shukshambutan, Messiah Mongol Kanya Chedigdo, that tell us of what Mayoyak, Monomika.
Yes. So at the end now, the end of this teaching, and also having having participated in Rinpoche's teachings for a few days, now let's make the time to dedicate whatever virtue you've accumulated here, first of all for the long life of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, but also for the preservation of the Buddha Dharma, and also that in Singapore and other places, people will suffer less, have less problems. For instance, just recently in Japan, there has been a flood that has negatively affected millions of people. So to dedicate our merit towards the well-being that such events, such suffering does not take place.
Chere Sewang Denzin Gyazo Yin Shebe Sede Pado Dengyur Je Jambian Bawe Chida Kemba Da Kundo Sangbu Tenyang Tishin Teda Kungi Jesu Dalo Jin Gyawan Teda Tamche Rabdo Tusun Shikbe Gyawan Tamche Ngowa Kanla Chodo Ngawa Da Dagi Gewe Sawa Degunga Sangbu Chuji Rabdo Ngowa Ge Pama Simje Tamche Teda Dengyur Je Ngenro Tamche Dado Tongba Da Chanju Semba Kana Sushuba Teda Kungi Mönam Drugyuruj Labo Sumde Ngumi Zimba Yin Dube Soge Nede Yongkangshi Dado Sheru Chawe Side Toten Choju Gebe Jashi Sho. 谢谢你们，谢谢。